Level, it's my honor to introduce Jen Rinaldi.
It is indeed difficult to follow Rosemary, but it's an honor to share a stage with her. This poem is about the ways that women have power all throughout our lives. Women's work is in the kitchen. And in my Italian grandmother's kitchen, between the courses of our holiday feasts, we, the women, cleaned plates and slates and put the garbage where it belonged. Somehow my feminist mother and aunts never protested our being relegated to the sinks because they knew we had work to do. My acceptance into the world of women took place in that lemony, steamy, sudsy world of my grandmother's kitchen, where we washed the good dishes in hot water and dried each one carefully with old, soft mapins. 3 generations of women stood, soft shoulder to soft shoulder, abundant hips bumping and touching, as our hands worked swiftly and efficiently, and our averted glances watching sweep of sponge or towel allowed truth to be spoken softly out loud. We spoke of all the things the men in our lives can't talk about. They are good, strong men who have never been given the gift of knowing how to tell each other things that matter. Women's work is in the kitchen, because in the midst of the soap and the scouring and the spray, the work of keeping men and families whole gets done. In my grandmother's kitchen, we found out who was okay and who wasn't, who needed help and who didn't, and who did, but we'd have to hide the fact that we were helping. We talked about children and parents and jobs and school and the sometimes overwhelming burden of just getting up every day, and Michael's drinking and Jimmy's drugs, and how hard Pete is struggling again in school. We talked about the men who cheated and the ones who didn't, and the women who knew all about it and the ones who didn't, and who really wanted another child and who really didn't. And we laughed and we cried and we joked and got serious and worked together, putting things in order. Women's work is the weaving of the ties that bind into something strong enough to catch you when you fall, but with enough slack to make sure it's not choking you to death. In the course of my lifetime, women's work got a whole lot harder. Gran died, and the kitchen that was hers hurt a little just to stand in. And my old aunts faded away into illness and death, and my father and my uncles divorced all of their wives, leaving so much more women's work to be done and so few women to do it. The last time I did dishes in my grandmother's kitchen, my last remaining aunt and I stood, just the two of us, crying, astounded by how many dishes there were. We had never noticed before. And now that my grandmother's kitchen exists only in my mind, all soft-edged and glowing, more than anything in the world, I wish I were standing there right now, mapin in hand, doing women's work. Because there's so much to be done. Thank you.